playing at a high level at 45 when you had to stop at 35.
Yeah, that's what you do.
That's the point.
That's what you do. Every time I call something into question, I'm jealous.
No.
Skip, I did what I
never
did.
said you were jealous of Baker Mayfield.
Skip, I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
I'm better than you.
Better.
Skip, what did that got? See what you do? You take personal shots.
No, I don't take personal shots. You started it.
Time out. You would take a personal shot at me.
I didn't take a personal shot at you.
Wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
You would take a personal
Put your
shot.
glasses back on.
Can I finish? You're willing to take a personal shot at me to say this man is better than me because I say he's playing bad this year?
Well, because
Go ahead.
you disrespect him. It's just so. You know what? It's beneath your
You would
dignity.
disrespect me to support him.
No, well, I'll support him over anybody because he's the greatest player who ever played your game, and it's by far.
Have it.
Okay,
Take off,
I'm going to.
And that's where that take ends. It's like Skip Bayless, basically Shannon Sharpe disses Tom Brady for his play this year, which honestly is granted, I think.
Yeah.
And he goes at Shannon Sharpe. Like, not just at him. This would be like if I insulted like your fucking mother or some shit. Like if we're like arguing and I'm like, oh, you're, I don't know, you know, or just insulting your character. Like going directly at somebody as an argument. Right. And for Skip Bayless, he's done this before. This isn't the first time he's done this. This is just a good example of it. Shannon Sharpe doesn't deserve this kind of play at all.
Yeah, and this is two people. It seems like they've been getting on each other's nerves recently, and I feel like this is just a sign the show's kind of getting to a point where maybe Skip Bayless needs a new partner. But for Skip, this is definitely one of the lowest moments of his career because the part of that interaction I can't get over is when Shannon takes his glasses off. Then Skip just goes, "What are you doing? Put your glasses on. You look ridiculous." And just the condescending way he talks to him. It's like the amount of confidence and just arrogance it takes for Skip to sit across from Shannon Sharpe, who benches 315 for reps. I mean, 225 is like a good bench. That's when you know your bench is solid. Shannon Sharpe is benching 315 for reps. You see him like puffed out every week in those suits, like always a size small so he can show off his guns on that show. And then you just straight up diss that guy and attack him on a personal level and attack his career. It's like, it's so dumb when it's like, Tom Brady's a better player than you've ever been. And I'm just sick of you dissing him on the show. It's like, first of all, the criticism of Brady is legitimate and the quarterback always takes the fall. No matter if it's their fault or not, some of the blame is always on the quarterback. And then just to dig at Shannon Sharpe's career when you've never even played football, it's different if like Brandon Marshall and LaShawn McCoy were going at each other like this. That's more acceptable because they're athletes and they both played. It's fine. It's still not great, but Skip Bayless, you never played professional sports in your life, and then you're just a guy who goes up there and says ridiculous things on television. That's how you make a living. It's like he's been a pioneer in the sport, but this is just a low point for Skip. And this interaction I feel like has been building because really the show, it kind of gets stale because they always talk about LeBron, even when it's in the thick of the football season. Honestly, LeBron's irrelevant this season. He's not really a key player. And it's always like, well, I think LeBron's the GOAT. Well, you're crazy because it's Michael Jordan. And it's like, or I think Brady's the GOAT. And then Shannon Sharpe criticizing Brady. And it's like, it just goes over the top. And then it's a reach. And then it's them going back and forth about the Cowboys. And then it got to a point where Monday when they were talking about the Jags and Cowboys, Shannon's like, "Oh, do you want to go or you're going to interrupt me or sighing?" And then Skip Bayless is just like, oh. And then he's like, no, we don't have any need for that sighing. He's like, you either need to let me talk and have what I have to say or you're going to go first and then I go. And that's kind of where it's at because Skip always goes second, but then he'll always kind of just be like, oh, when you're making your argument, which is like, you want to have a cohesive show, it's like just cutting people off and screaming at each other on TV. This wasn't entertaining for anyone. This just looked absolutely ugly.
It was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Plus, you hit on it earlier. It's like if you're going to insult a Hall of Famer, and Shannon Sharpe, who's a top 5 tight end of all time, many would argue, it's like that. You're dissing their credibility. I mean, Shannon Sharpe, like I mentioned, like one of the best tight ends to ever play the game. won 2 Super Bowls, was dominant in his position, and you're going to go ahead and belittle him for it? For somebody who averaged 1.4 points in college as a basketball player, it's like, I don't think he has any room to talk with that. And it's like, comparing Brady to Shannon Sharpe, it's just like, it's really low, and it really makes Skip look pathetic.
Yeah.
And so I definitely think when you talk about like how Skip and Stephen A have performed with each other since they kind of went off their separate ways, they both have kind of had similar issues with their co-hosts.
Yeah.
The Max Kellerman lore with Stephen A Smith, and then now looks like Shannon's relationship with Skip is starting to deteriorate.
Yeah.
It's like both of them kind of had these egos about them, which really worked well together with them because they had that mutual respect for each other. But it doesn't feel like either of them had the same respect for any of their other co-hosts that they've had since.
And one thing, Stephen A and Skip never played, but the athlete argument, it's just so dumb because it's like, Skip, you've never played professional sports, and then you're just going to be like, well, you've never had the career Tom Brady had. So like, I'm sick of you beating me in this argument. It's just like, that's the problem you run into when you have a TV show, and it's hard because people, when you make content like this, people want you to disagree on everything, but you're a logical person. And I feel like we are both pretty logical with our takes, and we've got a lot of things right this season. It's like, and that's like together bouncing it off each other. But it's like when you have to disagree on every topic, this is the problem you're going to run into, because if we have to disagree on Tom Brady and one person, the stick is one person doesn't like Brady and the other person defends Brady at all costs, you're just going to get on each other's nerves. And this is like when you're with someone every day, and it's like, you can attest to this, like just like even living with someone or working with someone, it's like you just get on each other's nerves, and it's not on purpose, and it's not because you don't like them. It's just you just get old.
Yeah, exactly.